So you are constantly feeling anxious, wondering if why he hasn't texted you back yet, doubting yourself, feeling insecure, wondering if he wants to take it to the next level, but you're not sure because he's not telling you directly. You're constantly in this desperate chasing energy, questioning your self-worth over and over and over again, wondering, do they like me? Am I good enough? And that's not the energy that you want to be operating in. Hello, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the 12 dating rules that changed my life. And they didn't just change my life because my dating life became a lot more fun and less stressful and anxious, but they also allowed me to really step into my confidence and my embodied womanhood and just these guidelines that allowed me to act in the way that I wanted to be the way that I wanted to be. So don't really think of them as rules, like think of them as guidelines because I know like all the rules are exhausting. Don't do this, do that. I know, it's terrible. But you got to do these though. You got to do these. I swear if I had these when I started dating, let's not talk about it. So you are constantly feeling anxious, wondering if why he hasn't texted you back yet, doubting yourself, feeling insecure, wondering if he wants to take it to the next level, but you're not sure because he's not telling you directly. You're constantly in this desperate chasing energy, questioning your self-worth over and over and over again, wondering, do they like me? Am I good enough? And that's not the energy that you want to be operating in. Because one, it doesn't feel good, and two, it's unattractive. It's a needy energy. You don't want to operate from that needy energy. So let's get to the tea, the truth. The first rule, know what you want. And I cannot stress this enough. This is very important. Know what you want, know your standards, know your non negotiables, know your boundaries. Because if you go into the dating world without knowing that, you are gonna inevitably attract people that are not on the same page as you are because you don't know what you want. And that leads to low quality experiences most of the time. It leads to you overstepping your boundaries. So know what you want. Write out a list of your non-negotiables, something that you're just, it's a no-go for you, if that is it, and honor yourself in that. Write your standards, write your needs, just write it all out and get it clear for yourself. Know what you want. Rule number two, if he is unsure, he can be unsure elsewhere. Uncertainty is unattractive. Get that into your system. Men know what they want, and a man who doesn't know what he wants, he's either not really connected to his masculinity or he's just not that into you and he's just scared to tell you. And that's the truth of the matter. That's the truth of the matter. Uncertainty is unattractive. And with that comes my third piece of advice. If you start doubting yourself or if you start questioning your worth or if you're good enough, that's your go sign. That's time to leave because nobody should make you feel like you are not good enough. Not not the man that you aren't even dating yet. Like how can he affect your self-worth? How is he going to make you doubt yourself? No. Just no, like he's out the door. Rule number 4. Take him off the pedestal and put yourself on it. As women, we are so used to putting the man on the pedestal and getting into that pick me energy and getting into,
Oh, does he like me? Will he choose me?
no, you want to be operating from more of your queen energy, from, I'm actually looking to see if you're good for me, if I like you, instead of the other way around. And honestly, if it's a good man that's in tune with himself, he's going to be doing the same. He is not going to wonder if he's good enough for you and if you like him enough. No, he's going to see if you match his criteria, and it should be the other way around. Number 5, this one's going to save you a lot of energy. This one's going to save you a lot of unnecessary wasted time and energy, and that is to ask about your non-negotiables up front. And when I say up front, I mean before you even meet, because they're your non-negotiables. Why would you go out on a date and spend your entire night with someone or day and then only to find out after that there's some of your non-negotiables that he doesn't have. So be open and honest about your non-negotiables because they are non-negotiable. They either are aligned with that and they resonate with that or they're not. So I want to give you an example here. One of my non-negotiables is I don't want to be in a relationship with someone who watches porn because to me it's the objectification of women. It's the consumption of the perpetuation of the patriarchy. Like, I just know it's disgusting to me. I don't want that. And I'm going to be upfront about that because I'm not going to spend my days and weeks getting to know someone only to find out that they watch porn. And you can just be really honest, like, hey, I know this is a bit straightforward, but ask your question, ask about your non-negotiable. And just say, like, this is just a non negotiable for me. So I just wanted to be upfront about it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of directness about your non negotiables because they're non negotiable. Number 6, sit back and observe. Sit back and observe. You don't have to ask him a bunch of questions and interview him like it's at a job interview. You can just sit back and observe. Most of your standards are going to be standards that you can see in him, in his behavior, in his actions, in what he does. You can't control what he does, but you can control what you do with the information that he gives you in his behavior. And also, if he hasn't done it, you're going to spend all of your time chasing him to do it. So I sit back and observe. Just had to fix my lighting because the sun decided to disappear. But I'm back now. Number 7, have some rules when you're dating. And I don't mean the guidelines, rules that I'm talking about now, but I mean they're more specific and they're really just there for you to be able to really protect and honor your boundaries. And I'll give you some examples. So, some of my rules are I won't sleep over on the first couple of dates. I won't get physically intimate on the first couple of dates. And these are just in place for me because I want to honor my boundaries, and my boundaries are that don't I don't like to be physically intimate with someone so soon when I don't know them. And also, I know that your brain releases oxytocin when you're physically intimate with someone, and that clouds your judgment. It clouds your ability to really notice things and stay true to yourself, at least in my experience. And another thing that I don't do is texting unnecessarily before we're actually dating, because this also creates a false sense of attachment. All these good morning, good night, how's your day? How are you doing? Like all of this, no, it creates a false sense of attachment. You're gonna get attached to this person when you don't even know them. There's no need. So spare yourself the trouble and the energy. Number 8, if he wants to go with the flow, run into the other direction, please. Because, first of all, if you're in touch with your femininity, you want to go with the flow. If you're if we're both going with the flow, like where is the flow gonna go? And besides that, men that are secure in who they are, who are connected with their masculinity, they know what they want and they're not afraid to go get it. So you either have to confront yourself with the truth that he's just not that into you, or he's just not really connected to his masculine leadership and intention. And for me personally, that doesn't really match with who I am and where I am right now. Number 9, detach from outcome. And I mean by this, I'm not about like being the cool girl and like not caring and like being fine with everything. No, like care, experience, feel. I feel like that's what's important here is really being present with your emotions and with the connection, but don't attach it to a certain outcome. Because the moment you start expecting an outcome or you start attaching to an outcome, you're going to create these stories in your head and you're going to attach to it, and then you can just not be as present as you would be if you didn't do that. Besides, it's going to save you a lot of trouble when it may not work out because your dreams aren't crushed, because you could just be realistic and stay in the moment. Number 10, Communicate what you want and don't be afraid to be direct about it when it's asked in the situation. So, I already talked about your non negotiables, communicate those like directly right from the start. Your standards, you don't have to, but this is when the situation asks you to do so. And I'll give you an example. I was dating a guy a while ago and he wanted to take me out. So he sent me a message. He said, I'll come near you and we can go hang out or go for a walk or something. Sir, that's not how I date. I require effort on a first date because I know my worth, I know my value, I know that I put energy into it as well. And all I'm asking for is effort and planning. That's all. That's it. That's my bare minimum. And I just want to make note that there's a difference between feeling entitled to something and knowing your worth and your value, that you just require someone to meet you where you're at. So I responded to this very straightforward. I said, I'm going to be direct with you. I require effort for a first date. So I know that you're serious. So something with a set date, time, place. If that's not you, that's okay. Just wanted to let you know. And he immediately stepped up. 9 out of 10 times, people in general, they want to get to where they want to go with the least effort. And if they are not required to put in effort, 9 out of 10 times, they're not going to do it. So sometimes you just have to communicate what you desire, what you need, and they'll step up. Like he immediately stepped up. He planned a really nice date and he took me out and it was really lovely. And I could have said yes to the going on a walk, but that's just not, no. And this one goes straight into my next one, number 11, reject what you don't want. I could have said yes to that offer of going for a walk. I wouldn't have gotten a really nice date when that's what I wanted. I could have said yes to the first offer, but I didn't. I rejected it and then a better offer came. This is with even with people, like you cannot accept the bummy guy that just wants to hang out and watch Netflix and chill and then expect to be taken out on a really nice date by a man who knows what he wants. It's just the truth because you're accepting way less than that. You need to start rejecting what you don't want so you can start accepting what you do want. And here's the thing, when you reject all the low quality experiences, all the things that you actually don't want, you're creating space for what you do want to come in. You're creating space for higher quality experiences. You're creating space for higher quality men. When I say higher quality men is to me a man who's grounded in his masculine, in his purpose, in knowing what he wants, in emotionally intelligent, emotionally stable, blah, blah, blah. Number 12, the last one, we are there, commit to non-avoidance. Commit to non-avoidance. This is very important. You need to commit to not avoiding anything that you notice in the beginning. Whether this is something really small, or you just feel off, or something feels off, or something feels weird, or you notice something weird, do not avoid this. You need to honor yourself here. You need to honor how you feel, and you need to honor your intuition because I promise you, trust me, that thing that you choose to avoid at the beginning is going to be the thing that is going to be why y'all break up or why it doesn't work out at the end. So, at least it happened for me. I got firsthand experience. I ignored something in the beginning and I knew that I was ignoring it, but I chose to ignore it anyways because I thought, "Oh, I'm I'm sure it doesn't matter." But it did matter. It mattered. So, commit to non-avoidance. And I just want to remind you as well, dating should be fun. You are not supposed to feel anxious all the time, worried all the time, and wondering if you're enough at all. It's not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun. You should feel secure and excited, and it is exciting. And also, all these things, like it took me a while to also just really embody them. Ooh, I had to practice because I was used to dating without any standards, without my bare minimum was literally on the floor, but it was in the cellar down the mud. Even when I thought about okay, communicating my needs, I was like, But you need to practice. You need to start doing it. And especially if you're just dating right now, you can just practice because you don't know these people. You don't know these men. You literally don't know them and they don't know you. Like also when I communicated standard and then he would like reject me or not want to date me anymore, I don't care. It doesn't matter. I don't know him. He doesn't know me. Besides, now I know that he's not the one for me. So at the end, it always will be amazing. I just want to invite you to start getting clear on what you want, start writing out your standards, your non-negotiables, start like looking like, okay, where am I accepting something that I actually don't want to experience? Thank you so much for watching if you made it all the way to the end. And don't forget to like and comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. 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 Bye.